Turnabout Airlines Part 4. The final part, probably, hopefully, definitely. I'm making it the final part. We will see. But now we gotta confront the bimbo and make sure that she's telling the truth. Oh, look at her. There she goes asleep again. Miss Meal. Miss Meal. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Jingfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Jingfa. Oh? Miss Cammy Meal. I hate her name. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal. If you please, tell me about your alibi during that time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Look at her sleep. Like, really, bitch? From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Oh, yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Girl. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up. Ah. She fell asleep again. Like the only way I'm gonna be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Well, it said to press her, so let's keep pressing her. Miss Meal, wake up. I'm awake, I'm awake. Miss Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. You asked me to wake her when you finally put that whip to an appropriate use. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, she needs to be longer.
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class and the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious drink. Girl, I mean you were neglecting your duty. No way. Sleeping's part of our job too, you know.
Hold it! She's an idiot, is what this is landing down to. Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up.
I'm awake, I'm awake.
Oh, why'd you hit him? Do what me for, sir?
What did I miss?
Poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead.
Really? Sorry about that.
You can make amends by continuing with your testimony. Hold it! So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes. Miss Meal, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony.
What are you talking about?
It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, right. Take that! If you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal.
Huh? A receipt? For what?
It's for the receipt Miss Tenero bought. Oh, for the suitcase Miss Tenero. Now, if I may direct your attention to the... As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Tenero. Yes?
Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now.
I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct?
Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off.
And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Oh, there she goes. And she's gone. It's Cammy Meal. It's so weird calling her Cammy when we're yelling at her. Like, is her name like Camille Meal? Because that is worse.
Huh? The bathroom?
I'll be the one to ask the questions here.
Yeah, maybe that's... I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know.
You take me for a fool. It's a little too convenient to be true.
But it's the truth. Cross my heart.
I don't have conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage.
You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out?
The fact that she has no pupils is wild. This bitch is on drugs.
Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator key card in the shop, you know? If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
I don't like her. I'm gonna point that one out there. I do not like her. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. You are under suspicion for now.
I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye. Can't very well let her escape, can I? Nerd. Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of let... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Oh, yeah. Now's not the time for this sort of talk.
Hold it!
Hold it. Hold it right there. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal?
I take care of the attendance.
That doesn't count.
Oh, but I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility.
Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borginian. She's the only one on this flight who's fluent.
Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of?
How the fuck does she understand languages?
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
What else could I have known?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian.
Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian?
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting. There it is.
Objection!
So you're the only one in this flight that speaks Borginian? Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Virginia for a while.
Oh, bitch made me yawn. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation that with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Mew. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Elif Red could not have occurred. Convenient narcolepsy, huh? Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggle? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. T-shirt change. Really? All you did was sign it. I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. Seems that she's finally woken up. This is gonna be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, Even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
Oh, she's getting pissed. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever start to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who is under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning. Excuse. I'm gonna guess this.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose a suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? Only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works with. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that point. Oh, the inside of the suitcase is hearts. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate the false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. Special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict on this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Chamomile. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And... Are you done already? I'm about to fall asleep. Okay, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. Good. see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. Is there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? That I still can't quite fit it?
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought. But that's because it went missing and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Franziska, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right? But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. The victim fell to his death from that height. Wouldn't his phone break as well? Won't know that, so we try a little experiment, will we? Franziska, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks. It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear it, detective. What am I supposed to do? Sounds like the phone. Oh. Oh, God, yeah, it's a lot louder. The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. The ringing is coming from somewhere around here. Right here, sir. Bad feeling on the phone. Ringing's coming from in here, sir. What? Gotta be the victim's cell phone. Whose locker is this, sir? It's mixed in there. What? Damn it. So, Mr. Edgeworth, where did it go? Where did you find the phone? Found it in the flight attendant's room. In Miss Tenero's locker. What? But... Rhoda Tenero. I don't know anything about the phone. Was it me? Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away.
Objection!
Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the key card. When the killer went to steal the key card, he conveniently stashed the cell phone in the locker at the...
Objection!
Ruh-roh. This is related to the key card, alright. The same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. Only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is one bird we cannot ignore. What do, Francis was right. Can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright, why did the culprit take the cell phone from it? Must have something very incriminating in it, or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. out. Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. Need to examine. It is cracked. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Must be the switch that opens the... Oh, that's cracked too. When did they start putting keyboards like these into cell phones? Oh god, how old is this? When did this game come out? Oh, 09? Yeah. Alright, yeah. Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently. Computer cell phones? Yeah, it's got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, flash forward. All you need in a phone is the phone part, nothing more. I'm guessing yours can't even send out email? Talk about inconvenient. You have a problem with what I do and do not care for, Detective? No, sir. As they say, simple is best. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Franziska, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. She's something else, isn't she? Yawn. May I go back to sleep?
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But it's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Franziska? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still in there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Franziska, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, Billy Fred's nowhere in this picture. Sir? He has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? She's right. Find out from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? There's really nothing in this fucking... They're just playing around. Mind if I go home? all the suitcases still alive at the time. What exactly is so odd about suitcases that haven't been used? Yeah, so I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then. Your off-topic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep yet again, Miles Edgeworth. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do. Hold on. What's all this? Hmm? Oh, they are cargo shipped from Borginia to Jingfa. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off. Miss LeBlanc, Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the boxes? Fortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes written in Virginia. It is Ray, Key, Scissors, Leaf, Eye, Kamehameha. It is cloth in English. Cloth? Is this where the... What for is that scary face? Meal. Yes. It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. This feels like a stretch. Ah. Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Virginian cargo and this piece of evidence will straight. Probably the cloth.
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Jingfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right, the killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you. Hold it. Ah, that's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. I don't hate that.
Objection!
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then... I see where this is going. The killer would have opened this box first.
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely, and bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. They were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Jingfa. That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Virginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy Meal. You and you alone. That feels like a stretch. But okay. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we'd have to do is contact the Jingfa authorities in turn. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Jingfa? Oh. Are the bubbles attacking her? He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. Started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I Fight it out. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. Probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth. I just want to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that... Well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... See, you don't have to take it if you don't want it. But no, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go You Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. That sounds like a cultism. I am aware of your presence. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Franziska? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Ooh. Detective. Can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? Got it, sir. Springs Airport. Franziska. I thought I told you when you first landed I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Okay. Just who do you think I am? You are Franziska von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing hero living her life on the name and fame of her invincible father built. Oh, on the name her father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say that he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is little more troublesome than most. It was a little more troublesome. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. Not a one-track, that one, doesn't she? And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Oh. I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. How much did you cut his salary by, friend? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska von Karma, smuggling route she was after. Leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of the war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Ring, 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 phone call. Edgeworth speaking. Ah, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Gasp. Ooh, the end on a cliffhanger. Ooh, I got an achievement. So it looks like most of these are going to be about 45 minutes, except for that first part of this one. I don't really know what to make of that. Going through. Looks like the next episode is going to be the kidnapped turnabout. We'll see you next time.